If you're thinking about being famous, that's probably a wrong place to start in the first place, you know. If you're thinking about, you know, the way people perceive you, you can go mad, and then, you know, maybe you can feel a lot of pressure. You know, I've had stage fright. I get it sometimes. I feel it in the past. You know, I mean, obviously, you know, it's difficult not to want to be appreciated and loved, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, in my more sober moments, you know, and it's about, you know, what I get the most satisfaction from is just knowing that I'm acting of my own free will, independently, and not being influenced, you know, by other people or by other people's expectations of me, or act, you know, out of fear. You know, so as long as what I'm doing is motivated by out of passion and.
There'll be no compromise. Better life, I'm still gonna rise. Only stop when God finds me a next round. None of you will ever have control. I never wanna do this politics, but the freaks only think about making a buck quick. Them up all the fashion and them only about sales. So Mr. MD, you can go to hell. Or you motherfucker wanna give me off shot video, one in the up video, top video. Label will never pop video. That's the reason I try to stop the video. They made it shallow when my shit's deep. Try to exclude my piece on the street. When it's the streets, got me and you sitting in the seats and the streets that made you wanna buy up my beats. They never wanted my fox, they never wanted my blood. The true underground of them in the tune what it was, and I couldn't cut a tab out the devil's bug. I speak to the youth about anti-drugs, said it's too dark. You get some shit started. Issues here, bitch, make it start to rotted. Headstrong, stubborn, stone-hearted. All you want, I can't say on my clock.
First of all, it's on top of a bus. When I first came in, I was like, no way, I'm going up that? That's amazing. And at first it started out, wasn't that many people, but it was still great because people were there and they were there to like just dance and vibe out. So I was like, yeah, man, let's do it, right? And next thing I know, I look up again, it's just full, and I'm like, wow, and everybody's just dancing and just having a good time. And it's just like a good exchange of energy, so it's just amazing.
I think there's definitely something that's really hard to kind of pinpoint, but I think people here seem to really feel music in a very profound way. And I think that's reflected in Górecki's music, and it's reflected in the people when they come to shows, you know, it's that there's a real, I don't know, you know, in England people are very cynical about music quite often, you know, I mean we still have some amazing shows there, you know, but there's something that's really in the soul here that is very, you can really feel it.
But Polish people just feel like you know, there's a hunger and there's a kind of desire to learn about it, and you know, we played in Moscow a couple of months ago, and it was a similar sort of feel. Like people are just delighted to be listening to music that isn't chart music or shit commercial, you know, papier-mâché music. It's got substance, it's got depth, it's got Lou's amazing voice, it's got different time signatures, it's got sounds you haven't possibly heard before, in those combinations anyway.
Pushing boundaries, I guess. I think that's what it feels like to me when I look at the lineup here. It's music that's not necessarily new, as in fresh off the shelf, but music that's constantly questioning what's ordinary and pushing it, you know.
It's not got the kind of guitar, bass, drums, you know, like rock and roll thing, which so many people kind of seem to kind of go towards. It's, you know, more cutting edge, experimental, you know, using synths instead of guitars, using female vocals instead of male vocals, using, you know, just a different palette of more unusual sounds rather than the standard kind of colours of rock and roll.
You know, doing a remix is like creating a new song. There was never a big difference between making a new song or making a remix. So our way of making music is different compared to other bands or musicians who go in the studio and they have already an idea and they just write the music out of their mind, you know. But for us, we always need to wait for a moment. And when we have the moment, then we keep it and we screw it and stretch it and destroy it and glue it together again. It's not about the genres, it's about the tune. You can have a great minimal techno tune, you can have a great dubstep tune, you can have a great hip hop tune, all the music is so beautiful and you have so many tunes coming every day out of creative heads all over the world, so it's just nice to be here and to discover everything. So
Jeden, raz, dwa, trzy. Czego tu potrzebujecie, panowie? Panowie, czego potrzebujecie?
Granie z taką kapelą, czyli klasycznym kwintetem jazzowym na dużych festiwalach openerowych jest dużym wyzwaniem. No a jeżeli jeszcze dodamy do tego fakt, że tym razem występujemy na festiwalu Nowa Muzyka z zespołem, w którym mamy kontrabas, fortepian, saksofon, trąbkę i perkusję, no to już można sobie pomyśleć, że trochę nam odbiło. Ale nie jest tak do końca, ponieważ związki z tą muzyką mamy od dawna. Ja od początku lat 90. Inspirowałem się rzeczami z labeli elektronicznych. Na początku było to Warp i Ninja Tune, ale do dzisiaj rozwinęło się już tak szeroko, że nawet nie wystarczy nam tutaj czasu, żeby o tym sobie poopowiadać. W każdym razie dalej słuchamy tych rzeczy, robimy różne remiksy swoich własnych kompozycji, które nagrywamy w bardzo za to klasyczny sposób, bo my nagrywamy w sposób analogowy w studiu, który jest do tego wystylizowane na lata 50. Mówię tutaj o stylizacji brzmieniowej, mikrofony, sama konsoleta, magnetofon szpulowy. Podobnie jak większość artystów, którzy dzisiaj tutaj występują, my po prostu w bardzo świadomy sposób traktujemy produkcję. Znaczy ona jako działanie jest środkiem artystycznym i nie ukrywajmy, większość artystów tutaj jest właśnie mistrzami od takiej roboty.
I love, you love, this love, we're professional, I know, you know, we're sophisticated at loving, 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 love, 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 loving, we're professional.
new music is trying different ways and like different rhythms with different kinds of percussions. Like for example, I like to use percussions you normally use in house music, but I would take that percussion and bring it in rap music just to see how it would sound like just experimenting. Like people who do research, I feel, is people who love to go on to new music. Like what I do is research, which is always trying to find new ways. Even if it's something I don't like, I still go for it. I just want to hear something new, something different, and then in the end I fall into something new. So that's new music to me.
Myślałem już od dłuższego czasu, kiedy pracowałem z Pink Floydem, że potrzebuję jeszcze głębszego zanurzenia w świecie takiego zakorzenionego jazzu, ale jednocześnie patrzącego daleko w przyszłość, mającego współczesne wizje, pewne wyzwania, które odpowiadałyby dzisiejszej jakby społeczności, dzisiejszym ludziom. Bo tak naprawdę nie możemy się cały czas jarać tym, co grał Coltrane, bo Coltrane jest mega inspirujący, jest szalonym geniuszem, ale po prostu robił to w tamtych czasach. Ludzie też dziś potrzebują współczesnego głosu i współczesnej improwizacji na ten temat i my staramy się jakby sprostać temu wyzwaniu. My tak naprawdę po umówieniu się po ilu krokach albo po ilu figurach, które znamy, tak naprawdę rzucamy się w przepaść. W przepaść po prostu improwizacji i zaufania do siebie i razem lecąc po prostu staramy się intuicyjnie jakby łapać kierunek, w którym lecą nasi wybrańcy. I jeżeli to się udaje i jeszcze do tego na koncertach, na przykład na oczach publiczności, no to energia, jaka z tego powstaje, jest po prostu niewiarygodna.
When I play or when I feel that I'm playing good is when I have the impression that I'm not playing. It's that somebody else is playing through me, and it all happens very easily, and it's a flow. It's almost a passive process. It's not really so active. It's more like I want to feel like somebody on the dance floor, not so much like somebody on the stage. Music is always only one part of something more that is happening, which is the audience. You can have a good audience, you can have a bad audience, you can have an inspiring audience, and obviously the places where it takes place. I mean, it's always about that. It's always about reinterpreting. In our case, that with these three parties, for example, it's like reinterpreting like the urban space and stuff like that.
I think we all have pretty strong opinions when we're making music, and it's more, you know, sort of just discussing and trying to express your vision so that everyone's feeling what you're feeling, and trying to be on the same page. Yeah, so I think that we're all kind of dominant in different times.
We're Little Dragon. Ritual unions got me in trouble again. I was wondering of the white dress and the mistress and the spit holding my hand. Love sinking in the sand, petals falling off the man. My feet are running like the wind. I'm sorry for the sin. Love is not like they say. I lie, start to make it stay. Drowns my feelings in the sea. I dried up over on the beach. Ritual unions got me in trouble again. I was wondering of a white dress and a mistress and a bit holding my head. Father, tell me how it is. I know you've been through all of this. You ran away so many times. Your kids are hard a couple times. Love is not like they say. A lie, start to make it stay. Drowns my feeling in the sea. Right out over on the beach.
So far, no one's really been shocked with the third album. I think it has a different feel, but I think that it's still connected to who we are, and yeah, it's different. But people can definitely recognize the sounds, and hopefully, you know, feel that there's kind of a progress, a natural progress through the different albums.
Ritual unions got me in trouble again. Ooh.
Okay, you can say that it's all been done before, but if you're completely authentic in the way that you express something, like we try and play every show like it's going to be our last show, and if you're really in it and authentic in that way, and it's fresh to you, then that's what the crowd get. You know, if you're tired with it, then the crowd are tired with it. But you know, we've done 1,000 shows, but we love playing, and especially crowds like tonight. You know, the energy of that fuels us, which fuels them, which fuels us.
And most people can agree on, you can have feelings, people talk about the vibe or the energy in a room, things that you can't describe easily, but if someone says it, you know what they're talking about. So I think, yeah, definitely, I want to, when it all comes together at a gig, and you have those moments where people feel connected, or that's what it's all about. Yeah.